Hello, dear friends, welcome to our YouTube channel, USA Football Zone, latest football highlights. How does a friendly match evolve into one of the most memorable and acclaimed individual performances in modern football? How does a seemingly non-competitive game transform into such a thrilling 7-goal battle, one that feels even more significant than any final? On June 9, 2012, a match was played that was not contested for any trophy, but rather centered on something far more fundamental to football: pride, tradition, and the endless debate over who is the best. This was not merely Argentina versus Brazil, it was Lionel Messi's battle at the absolute peak of his powers, facing off against Brazil's next generation of stars on a stage that no one could have imagined would become quite so memorable. A record crowd of 81,994 spectators packed into MetLife Stadium in New Jersey, a figure that seems almost unbelievable for a friendly match. Yet, they had gathered there to witness something extraordinary, a head-to-head clash between international football's two greatest rivals. They had come to see Messi, and he did not disappoint. 2012 was no ordinary year for Lionel Messi. It was a period in which he shattered every conceivable goal-scoring record. He ended the year with a staggering 91 goals. 79 for Barcelona and 12 for Argentina. His greatness had already been proven, but this was something else entirely. It was extraordinary, yet, amidst that whirlwind of goals, one performance stands out above the rest, not merely for the statistics it produced, but for the sheer drama of its narrative: a hat-trick against his nation's fiercest rival, culminating in a final goal that appeared to defy the very laws of physics. But this story did not begin with Messi's magic, it began with Argentina in peril. This was no ordinary exhibition match. From the moment the opening whistle blew, the intense competitive energy of the game was palpable. With their sights firmly set on the upcoming London Olympics, Brazil took the field fully prepared, and on the opening moments were entirely dominated by the men in yellow, electrified by the lightning pace and dynamic brilliance of the young Neymar. And in the 23rd minute, they took the lead. A powerful free kick caught Argentina off guard, and the ball found its way to Romulo, who was positioned inside the box. He unleashed a powerful shot that beat goalkeeper Sergio Romero, putting Brazil ahead. The Brazilian fans went wild with jubilation. Argentina looked shell-shocked. The narrative was about to be written quite differently. For the next 8 minutes, Brazil appeared composed while Argentina seemed anxious. That old, worn-out notion regarding Messi that he could never quite replicate for his country the player he was for Barcelona began to rear its head once again. But this was the Messi of 2012, and in the 31st minute, he decided to rewrite that story. Gonzalo Higuaín surged forward, won possession in midfield, and immediately spotted Messi's run. He delivered a perfect pass into open space for Messi, who had drifted in behind the Argentine defense. With a single touch, a calm, side-footed finish directed into the corner, the score became 1-1. It was a cool-headed, clinical, and predatory goal before the spectators even had a chance to catch their breath. Play resumed. Just 3 minutes later, Ángel Di Maria sliced through the Brazilian defense with another brilliant pass, and once again, Messi was right there, waiting for the delivery. He raced toward the ball, rounded the Brazilian goalkeeper, Rafael Cabral, with his first touch, and with his second, effortlessly slotted the ball into the empty net. Argentina took a 2-1 lead. In the span of just 3 minutes, Messi had single-handedly turned the tide of the match. Argentina held the lead going into halftime, courtesy of a player who had just showcased two entirely distinct facets of his genius. First, a predatory finishing instinct, and immediately thereafter, a flawless display of pace, control and composure. But Brazil is not a team to give up easily. The second half began with renewed vigor. In the 56th minute, a brilliant 1-2 pass at the edge of the box presented Oscar with a scoring opportunity, and he effortlessly slotted the ball into the net, leveling the score at 2-2. The game had now opened up completely, with a frenetic, intense exchange of attacks and counterattacks unfolding from both sides. Then, in the 72nd minute, Argentina suffered a major blow. A corner kick was cleared, but the ball fell directly to Hulk. Controlling it in mid-air, he unleashed a powerful, rocket-like shot that found the back of the net. Brazil took a 3-2 lead in an instant. Messi's lead vanished. The narrative had taken yet another turn. With less than 20 minutes remaining in the match, it seemed as though Brazil's young squad would emerge victorious. As the clock ticked down, The tension at MetLife Stadium was so palpable it could practically be cut with a knife. Following Messi's return, Argentina had regained their footing, but their fight was not over yet. In the 76th minute, substitute Sergio Aguero took a corner kick that landed right in the heart of the crowded penalty area. Defender Federico Fernandez rose to meet the ball, and with a powerful header, he sent it crashing into the net. 3-3, the entire stadium erupted in jubilation. The goal was scored by a player from whom no one had expected it. Yet it completely transformed the atmosphere of the game. This is football, set the stage for one of the most memorable moments of the match. What followed was not merely a goal, it was a statement. Everything that makes Lionel Messi was distilled into 10 seconds of flawless artistry. The clock read the 84th minute, the game was tied, and the outcome could have shifted at any instant. Deep in the Brazilian half, near the right touchline, Messi received the ball. It looked as though there was hardly a chance. But for Messi, no chance is simply an invitation. He began to run, not at full sprint, but with that familiar, nimble dribble, the kind where the ball seems glued to his left foot. He cut inside, gliding past the first defender, and surged forward with blistering pace. The Brazilian defense retreated, a mixed sensation of alarm and dread washing over them. They knew exactly what he was capable of, yet they were powerless to stop him. He accelerated, slicing straight through their defensive line, and burst past yet another obstacle as he drove relentlessly forward. As he approached the penalty area, a wall of yellow-jerseyed players rose to block his path. There was no clear route forward for any ordinary player. The only option would have been to pass. But Messi operates on a different plane. Upon reaching the edge of the penalty arc, he nudged the ball ever so gently with his left foot, just enough to carve out a sliver of space for himself. And then, he unleashed a shot, a powerful, curling strike off his left foot that soared through the air with incredible force and pinpoint precision. The ball arced beautifully through the air, evading the goalkeeper's desperate dive, and nestled into the top corner of the net. 4-3, Argentina takes the lead. It was a moment of pure, unparalleled genius, a magnificent match winner, a truly extraordinary goal. The players on the Argentine bench erupted, rushing onto the pitch to join the celebration. Argentina's coach, Alejandro Sabella, could only smile and subsequently voiced what everyone already knew. Thank goodness he's an Argentine player. The final few minutes descended into utter chaos, the friendly atmosphere of the match completely shattered, and tempers flared. Following a scuffle during stoppage time, Brazil's Marcelo and Argentina's Ezequiel Lavezzi were both shown red cards, but by then, the outcome of the match had already been decided. The final whistle confirmed a 4-3 victory for Argentina, a win secured courtesy of an extraordinary moment of individual brilliance from Messi, and one that would remain forever etched in memory. So, was this Lionel Messi's greatest ever performance against Brazil? It remains a subject of considerable debate. Some attempt to downplay the significance of this performance by pointing out that all his goals came in a friendly match. He has certainly played more decisive roles in official competitions, such as his extraordinary playmaking in the semifinal of the 2021 Copa America, a tournament he ultimately won to secure his first major international title. However, no other match against Brazil showcases his individual magic quite as comprehensively as this one does. It was his first and to date only hat-trick against the Brazilian national team. It featured 3 entirely distinct types of goals: a clinical finish, a magnificent dribble followed by a chip, and an impeccable long-range strike. He twice pulled his team back from a deficit, and then won the match with a goal that will undoubtedly go down as one of the finest moments of his career. It was a performance that had it all: drama, rivalry, surreal moments, and a climax that felt straight out of a Hollywood script. Ultimately, the title of greatest will always remain a matter of personal opinion, but for a magnificent 90-minute cinematic experience crafted from pure entertainment, sheer dominance, and the singular genius of Lionel Messi, that night of June 9, 2012 in a packed-to-the-rafters stadium in New Jersey stands as the strongest contender. It was a night when a friendly match instantly transformed into a classic, when a record-breaking crowd witnessed a legend at the absolute peak of his powers, and when Lionel Messi penned yet another unforgettable chapter in his illustrious career. But that is just my opinion. What do you think? Was this Messi's greatest ever performance against Brazil, or do you believe another match deserves that title? I have shared my perspective. Now I would love to hear yours. Please let me know in the comments section below.